Hello and welcome to this C programming video. My name's David Thorne. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to write formatted strings to a file. And this file could be a standard out, could be standard error, could be a file that you have on the system, could be basically anything. So with that said, let's just jump straight into it. Now I'm certain that you've already seen how to write a formatted string to the terminal. Obviously we can take a message here in a string and then take the percentage sign and then S and then give it the message, and it writes out this is my message to the file. And if we wanted to place any other formatting within inside the string, we could too. So but the whole point of this is to be able to write this buffer, let's call it, to an actual file rather than just displaying it on the standard out. So we need to use the fprintf in this situation, where we've got then the file that we want to write it to, and then we can then say the same information that we have basically in printf. Now you won't be surprised, but the printf is basically just this here, and I'll show you here. It's basically exactly the same thing. Oh, and we obviously need then the F on the end of it, and it does basically exactly the same thing. So printf is basically calling fprintf with then standard out and then using then the format instead. And as I've showed in the previous video, that when we go to include the Unix standard library, then the Unix standard library is basically doing then the standard out, and then the buffer is then message, and then we are saying then the counts, which we need then the count of this, where we can just quickly do this with, let's just for the sake of speed use then string .h to get the size, and we can say string length of message, and this will do basically exactly the same thing. This is my message to write. So they are literally, printf is sat on top of, printf is sat on top of fprintf, and fprintf is actually more sat on top of fwrite here. So we can say a message size is then we want then the string length, or we just say size of char here, and then string length is then message. And where are we writing it to? We are writing it to standard out. So we now have it the fourth time that we've written it to the file. So these are all of the different ways of writing formatted strings to a file. Now you might think, wait a minute, this isn't a file, but standard out here is actually a file. When you look at this, it doesn't look like a file, but when we look at fprintf, it's saying I need a file, right? So we could say that we want to have our file here, and then say file is equal to fopen. I don't know. We'll just call it my file, and we'll open it for writing, right? This would open up the file, and here you would check it if it's if it's equal to null. Then you would exit here, exit here like 2 or whatever. So now you have your file, and you could now replace standard out with this one file instead. So this is doing exactly the same thing, as long as you have the permissions to create this file and it all goes all okay. Then obviously you would then say fclose file down here as well at the end. This would all work exactly the same way, all right? So standard out, standard in, standard error, they're all file descriptors. However, when we use write, we are using these are all files, all right? But the write takes a file descriptor. So you can see, just to repeat myself, that it's taking, fprint is taking a pointer to a file, and then fwrite is taking the pointer to the file at the end as well. And then write is then taking a file descriptor, which is an integer, because all files on the system are just an integer, regardless whether they are directories or files. They just have a number. Okay, So with that said, this is how we can write formatted strings to the console. Now obviously we could use more formatting with inside of the string a little bit more. How the formatting works is not part of this video, but the whole point here is that you can take a formatted string and then use a string literal there as the buffer and so on. So these are different ways that you can write to a file. All right. In other videos, I will talk more about how to use, actually how to write data to a file for reading, and then how to read from a file, write binary, append it, and so on, and move backwards and forwards throughout the one file. We'll talk about that later. But for the time being, I just wanted to introduce you here to writing to files, and remembering that standard out, standard in, standard error are just files, and the different levels of abstraction here that you can use. With that said, I hope that you got something out of this one video. This video was only supposed to be short. It was supposed to be one of those videos that you may just have watched a previous video and thought, oh, this one might answer some questions too. Most of the operations that you do when it comes down to networking or reading from a file system or writing to another process will all at one point talk about files and all talk about file descriptors and stuff like that. But this knowledge at a very, very low level can help you write other applications in other programming languages like Swift or something, to really get this fundamental understanding of how the bytes are written and read from a system, and how can you efficiently read and write to that one file, and how can you lock the files and so on. So it's really an important thing to know which functions am I going to use at the lowest level first of all right, before we start reading the data byte by byte, or line by line, or buffer by buffer, or whatever you want to call it. So if you did like it, then, or if you did like the content, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you do have any questions, feedback, or concerns, then let's start a conversation in the comment section down below. And if you want to watch all of the videos as they are uploaded, then have a think about becoming a member of the channel. That's one of the perks, that you'll see the videos as soon as they're released. As you can see, I'm creating this video on the 24th of September 2024. And this one video at this one point in time will be released on the 28th of September, because I have other videos already set to be released tomorrow, etc., etc. So, but if you want to see all the videos that are created and have access to them straight away, then think about becoming a member and supporting the channel even further. And it's another way of thanking me even further as well. Thanks very much for watching. My name's David Thorne. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.